This video is an interview between Judith Reisman, an American researcher, and Ariane Bierron, a French psychopathologist. It is from 2017, but it's still relevant because it gives us crucial information to better understand what is happening today, measure the dangers that our children are facing, and be able to take the right actions to protect them. We divided the original interview of 3 hours in several small sections to facilitate its viewing, and we made some little changes. We advise you, of course, strongly to listen to all the videos until the end. Judith Reisman unfortunately left us in April 2021. But she leaves us a considerable amount of documented work that allowed us to understand the deep cause of the degeneration of our society, of institutionalized corruption, of couple issues, of the current troubles of our youth, and also to discover who was interested in annihilating the parental rights and sexualizing the children. It is by knowing the root cause of a problem that we can find the solutions to resolve it. The analysis of the official text of the WHO and the International Planned Parenthood, exposed in Ariane Bierron's book, The Imposture of the Sexual Rights, or the Law of the Pedophile in Service of Worldwide Totalitarianism, is aligned with the work of Judith Reisman. It validates the thesis according to which there is a will to traumatize children by sexualizing them from the youngest age in order to have total control over them and at the same time annihilate parental authorities so the parents are not able to protect them. In the US, parents are beginning to strongly express their indignation to school boards about the presence of pornographic content in school libraries, even in elementary schools, and their legitimate concern about explicit sex education curriculum. European parents have the same exact concerns, as it is a global issue. That's why this interview should be seen by European parents as well as American parents. Today, more than ever, it is important that parents particularly take back the control of their authority over their children and protect them. The Translation Bridge presents this interview translated into French and English and takes the opportunity to pay tribute to these two women who, with their exemplary research and analysis, each in their own time and place, allowed us to go back to the root cause of the insanity that is taking over our world. They have revealed to the public the true face of the organizations that claim to work for our own good and the one of our children. Their respective work complements each other marvelously well to enlighten us, and it will remain inscribed in history. We invite you to read the articles on our website or watch the videos on our YouTube or other platforms that we have translated from Judith Reisman, Ariane Bierron, or other experts to refine your judgment on the current situation. Knowing that these two women, like all those who target the heart of a problem or expose the truth, have been subjected to numerous slanders and are victims of censorship. So let's use our best judgment and listen to those who have analyzed the official texts and historical facts. Because the issue is not to create sensationalism, to broadcast dark and sordid stories, to occupy available brain time, or to get lost in childish ego battle, but to debunk the root of evil and to individually act at our level. Don't forget to subscribe to our channels if you haven't already done it to get notification for the next videos. Like the videos, comment on them, and share them massively so that all together we can broadcast this precious information. The Translation Bridge is totally independent, is not linked to any religious or political organization. We thank you for your support, your donations, large or small, so that we can continue to offer you quality content. Out of respect for the work of the translators and video editors, If you want to download the video to put it on your site, we ask you to publish all the links and the references that we have put under the video. Those who use the content or get inspired from the contents we are sharing should have the courtesy to mention the authors and the platforms that broadcast their work out of respect for the author's work and our work. This being said, in the current situation, many of us are in shock and often feel helpless. By sharing this information with your friends, family, colleagues, and local doctors, you are taking actions. The first step to make a shift of consciousness is to share the right information. Then the time will come to concentrate on solutions and build on good and new foundations. We wish you all the courage to face reality. As Judith Reisman said, the level of our mental health is measured by our ability to face reality. Have a good viewing.
Bonjour, Madame Reisman. C'est un grand honneur de pouvoir vous accueillir en interview donc en France. Nous allons donc passer 2 heures ensemble sur un sujet qui mérite que l'on s'y attarde sérieusement, les droits sexuels des enfants et leur relation à l'idéologie pédocriminelle de Kinsey. Tout d'abord, j'aimerais introduire votre éminent parcours. Comment pourrais-je vous présenter?
Oh, thank you. How would I introduce myself? I was forced to go into the academic world. I had been working in the artistic world, in television, in songwriting for my early years. But in fact, I was forced to enter the academic world because of my own experiences with my daughter, who had been raped as a small child, a 10-year-old child. And I entered the academic world because I felt I had to understand what had happened, why this had happened, the dynamics that had brought this about. So that was the rest of my life. Oh yeah, and I wrote a lot of books about it, and worked for the Department of Justice, did a major research for the United States Department of Justice, juvenile justice and delinquency prevention. And here I am, still.
Oui, vous avez écrit plusieurs ouvrages, dont Kinsey, Sex and Fraud, The Indoctrination of a People, Soft Porn, Plays Hardball, aussi Kinsey, Crimes and Consequences, et Kinsey's Attic, is Sexual Sabotage. Avant d'entrer dans le vif du sujet, je voudrais rappeler pour nos auditeurs que sont les droits sexuels. Les droits sexuels, ce sont des droits promus par l'OMS selon lesquels les enfants seraient des êtres sexualisés, dotés de consentement sexuel, responsables, autonomes, avec des capacités évolutives, leur permettant de prendre des décisions sur leur sexualité. Ils seraient des êtres à éduquer sexuellement dès la naissance et même des citoyens sexuels. Ce sont des citations. J'ai pour ma part, dans mon livre « L'imposture des droits sexuels » ou « La loi du pédophile au service du totalitarisme mondial », étudié à la virgule près 2 textes internationaux en particulier, la Déclaration des droits sexuels de l'IPPF, le Planning familial international, et les standards pour l'éducation sexuelle en Europe de l'OMS, qui nous disent comment les enfants doivent être éduqués sexuellement dès la naissance, avec un programme, des modules d'évaluation, etc. Le site de journalisme d'investigation Donde Vamos, http:// //dondevamos.canalblog.com en France, luttant contre la pédocriminalité, a fait plusieurs alertes au sujet de ces droits sexuels et de cette éducation sexuelle, dont aucun média officiel ne relaie le caractère a minima problématique. Or, mon étude sur les droits sexuels des enfants qui sont en soi pédocriminels, faisant de l'enfant un citoyen sexuel doté de consentement, responsable et autonome, m'a menée vers SENSOA, l'Institut Kinsey, ICIECUS, comme promoteur actuel, reconnu dans les institutions de l'enfant sexualisé. C'est-à-dire qu'aujourd'hui, l'on nous vend une idéologie pédophile, celle qui dit que l'enfant aurait des désirs sexuels dès la naissance. J'ai fait une longue interview avec Marc là-dessus en juillet 2017 dernier. En relation avec la promotion de ces droits sexuels et du grand plan santé du ministère de la Santé, inscrivant l'éducation sexuelle dès la maternelle depuis le 30 mars 2017 dans les écoles de France, à l'insu des Français et de grand nombre d'enseignants, il me paraît indispensable que vos travaux sur le personnage Kinsey, à l'origine de l'idéologie pédophile de l'enfant sexualisé, soient davantage connus en France et je voudrais y contribuer. Ici, nous vivons une vraie chape de plomb. Les médias officiels ne parlent pas de ce sujet, sauf pour faire de la propagande de masse en faveur de l'enfant sexualisé qu'il faudrait éduquer sexuellement. Et ils calomnient les très rares cas qui osent s'attaquer à ce sujet. C'est la raison pour laquelle j'ai souhaité que l'on vous entende sur une radio complotiste, car je crois qu'il y a réellement un complot pédophile contre l'humanité. De lobbies qui tendent à banaliser, puis à légaliser la pédocriminalité contre les enfants de tout âge, et pas seulement, mais aussi les opérations transgenres des mineurs, l'achat-vente de bébés, etc. Et ceci se prouve au travers des textes officiels, justement, de leurs ramifications jusqu'à Kinsey. Et pour justifier non seulement le caractère plausible du complot, j'aimerais rappeler une citation de la philosophe Hannah Arendt, sous laquelle nous pourrions inscrire cette interview si vous êtes d'accord. Je cite : « Le secret, c'est ce que l'on appelle diplomatiquement la discrétion, ou encore arcana imperii, les mystères du pouvoir, la tromperie, la falsification délibérée et le mensonge pur et simple employé comme moyen légitime de parvenir à la réalisation d'objectifs politiques font partie de l'histoire, aussi loin que l'on remonte dans le passé. » Dans Du mensonge en politique, le premier des essais qui compose Du mensonge à la violence.
First of all, yes. Yes. The United Nations, the rights of the child, all this sort of thing, yeah. These have been designed by people whose aim is the sexual exploitation of children, the eradication of trafficking, child trafficking, because child trafficking would no longer be illegal. If you make children sexual from birth, okay, which was Kinsey launched that concept, then yeah, and I was wrong when I thought in the first place it was just America, because it wasn't just America, it was global. So the idea would be that children, and this is the bottom line to all this, all of it, children who are going to be defined as sexual from birth, sexual citizens. I never heard that. That one I didn't hear. That's comes up with,
Dans les standards pour l'éducation sexuelle en Europe, citoyens sexuels.
Nothing gets by those guys, Okay, I almost wrote a book called Pedophiles in Power about 20 years ago, yeah? I said, hey, the way things are going, this is what is happening, pedophiles in power, yeah. So anyway, that's the design, to eliminate the issue of trafficking, because we eliminate any illegal aspect. Everything would be legal for the children, for people to rape them, because they are sexual, they allegedly, yeah, and they are taught this in school by people who believe it, because the teachers are being taught that. And when a mother and a father, or maybe it's just a mother these days, or I don't know, go to court, they would be adjudicated by judges who have also been trained this way. Yeah. So it becomes international. The judges are have the same belief system and perhaps the same activity. Yeah, very often. Yeah, we know we have many judges. Yeah, and so this is there. There's no question, but that the removal of parental rights, the removal of religious boundaries, what is designed by those power people at the top to seduce, not just seduce, just to recruit, to control, to take the children. This is the biggest Pied Piper activity. I don't know if you have Pied Piper in France or in South America, the story of the Pied Piper. But in America, the Pied Piper who leads the children off the cliff and who are killed. But the killing is the least of it because they're tortured first. Okay. Yeah. Sexual desires from birth. First of all, it's all concocted, of course, by pedophiles. So there's no question. And pederasts, and pedophiles, there's a difference a little bit, but okay. As far as from birth, I had a case against the Kinsey Institute, and we look, a legal case, and we had a research, an interview with the head of the Kinsey Institute, June Reinisch at the time, and she said in her interview, she said, yes, she said, well, we know that children are sexual in the womb, not from birth. You don't have to wait until they actually get out of the womb. In the womb, we know that they are sexual and they have sexual feelings. And I said, where do we know that the child is sexual in the womb? And she said, well, as a matter of fact, it was on the Donahue show too. She said, because we've seen that the boy has an erection. So, of course, that is ridiculous. I mean, I said, well, the erection is this big, then, and this was how many? This was 15, 20 years ago, when you couldn't even vaguely see, the intrauterine devices. You couldn't really see that much, right? And not only that, but there's absolutely no reason to assume that the child has a urine buildup, which causes the, to have a little bit of some kind of a show, or any number. It's moving with the mother's breathing and with the fluid. And if that's the case, how are they aborting these babies? How are they aborting them? Yeah? Anyway, I just wanted to mention.